What's up, guys? I'm Kinsey. I've been hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live.
Finally, the EP is out. I know you've been working so hard with this.
Yeah, I'm good. I've been working hard. I'm glad that it's out. I'm super glad that it's out. Yeah.
Now, I like that you titled it Party of One, but in reality, like, it took a big team behind it to create it. A lot of it was like family and friends that kind of helped you create it. So why did you feel like after going through all that, the title was still relevant?
I mean, in reality, I liked the title because of the picture. That's a picture from my 3rd birthday party, and there was me and 3 stuffed animals. So in reality, the name came from that picture.
Rough party.
You're telling me, dude, the life of an only child, man. Damn. But the name did come from that picture originally, but you know, it has a few different meanings. However, it definitely took a team, and I'm only here with this album released and this show coming up and this interview happening because of all the amazing team that I have behind it. So you're right.
Now, off the bat, listening to the record, listening to the first single, Simple, like, I love that it's a new vocal range for you. Yeah. It's something that was completely different from what I'm used to hearing from you. So, you know, what was the decision in going this route as far as the music goes?
That song, as soon as I heard it, I knew that it was going to be the first single. It really, there wasn't a whole lot of like tearing it apart and thinking like, okay, so the range and all, and the notes and it was the words and the way that they were said. As soon as I heard it, I go, oh, that's the first single, you know? So as far as like jumping out into a different vibe, I haven't tried to do that with any of the songs on the album. All of them were just written with no purpose in mind, which sounds like it was just like willy-nilly, but in reality, that's how I like to write. I don't like going into it with preconceived stuff. Right. So like, all of the songs were just sort of written, and then you'd hear them, and you go, oh yeah, that'll go on the album, you know. But that was Simple. Was just, I don't know, man. I had to really reach to get to those notes, and turned out all right though.
Now, I mean, did it take you a while to kind of create the song, or to like record the song in general because the vocal range was different?
You know, it's funny. So that song I worked with this guy, Johan Lambert, who is the other half of Botox, which is my other band. Right. And he and I are super comfortable with each other. We just know how to talk to each other. Right. And he lives in Sweden, but he was on FaceTime while I was recording the vocals to it. Yeah. And it just, he makes it really easy for me to get to the notes because, like, dude, I can't hit that. And he goes, oh, well, then just do it, though. I'm like, but I can't. He goes, no, but just do it. You know, and I'm like, okay, I'll just do it, and then I do it. You know, so it works out well. Yeah.
So how do you do that live now? Do you get them on FaceTime when you're performing?
We'll find out Thursday how we do it live, man. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. This whole set that I've got together, I'm very curious to see how my voice lasts, start to finish. We'll see.
Now, as you're, you know, obviously it's a different way of singing for you. There's a lot of high notes that I was like, whoa, I didn't think you could hit that. Did that? Did that change the way that you write the music, though?
No, again, dude, it was like, even some of these songs, like, we didn't go in going like, okay, we're going to write this song for me. Like, even some of them were just written, and then once my vocal got on it, it was like, ooh, that's got to be your song now, you know? So that was kind of it, is we'd go into a session that maybe was written for a girl, and I would, like, scream one of the lines with that silly scream voice I do, you know?
Which one is that? I can't remember.
You know, no. But I would like scream one of the lines and someone would be like, ooh, dude, you sound really good on this song. So then we'd just put my vocals on it, and now I'm stuck with a song that's 3 keys out of my range, you know? But like, I can hit them. Yeah. It just, it's a lot of practice now. Right. It's a lot of practice.
So tell me about the team that's behind this EP, because there's many of them, Alana being one of them who I spoke to recently. But tell me about the team behind them, and what is it about them that you really like the way that they work, and that's why you brought them along?
Sure, that's a big part of this EP, is the people and why they're on my team now. Because, dude, I mean, you know, I've been through it. I got to have the biggest labels that exist, and I've gotten to have amazing managers, and I've gotten to have agents that were the top of the game. I've been in a position, luckily, to have worked with the best of the best. Right. And it's wonderful having a team like that behind you. But there's never this real connection to your team. And for me, I'm in a world now where I want to work with people I really genuinely care about. I want to write songs with my friends. I want to play shows with my friends. I want my publicist to be my friend. I want every single person on my team, I want them to be my people.
I mean, your publicist was singing the song right now.
I know, she knows every word. She actually knows more of the words than I do to this EP. But,
maybe she'll hit the high notes.
Right, yeah, she just stands in the back with a microphone and hits those notes, but people think it's me. But no, like when I set out to make this, when I was like, all right, we're doing it. We're doing Kinsey. We're gonna go for it. From day one, it was bring on the people that you like. Make sure that you're working with a team of people that are your best friends and that are the people that are going to be as into it as you are. Because the only people that care about me as much as I do are me. I'm the only person in the world that cares about me as much as I care about
your parents. Come on, you got. Okay, never mind.
They care about
Try
me a lot. They care about me a lot, but I think I have them beat, which is not saying much for my personality. But you want your friends on your team because then they care about it too. Right. Because you want the people around you to see you succeed just because they want to see you succeed, not because there's money in it. But then I want us to all make a bunch of money together. Sure. So I'm in this place of like, let's work with people you love and that you care about and that are fun to be around. So that way, when there is success, you get to just hang out with your friends all the time. Like that's the goal.
I get that.
Yeah, it's way more fun that way.
Of course. It never feels like work. That's what it is.
Never. Every time you and I hang out, whether we're just hanging out or we're doing an interview, it never feels like work. Right. That's true. We're just chilling and talking.
It almost gets to the point where I'm like, what can I say? What can I not say? Like, I know too much now.
Right. Luckily, there's a thing called an edit, where if
that is very true.
Much, you can always delete it.
So, talk to me more about this EP. Like, what challenged you the most in creating this EP?
That's a good question. I don't know, man. All the logistics, the business side of things. We live in a world now where musicians also have to be business owners, and that's all fine and good because I like knowing why what is happening. I like that part of it. But that's my least favorite part of it. I would much rather be like, hey, could you just handle that? And I'm going to go make more music. Right. So that's the most troubling part, is just getting all the minutia out of the way so that I can focus on a show, or I can focus on an album, or I can focus on whatever I need to focus on. But as far as creating the EP, it was super easy, man. Yeah. Not that it's easy to make an EP.
You were ready for it. You've been waiting for this moment for how many years now? So I can only imagine. Yeah, there we go. The moment you were born, like it just happened. But
that's the thing. It's not that it was easy to make it. It's just that none of the songs were hard to, like they all just came out, and then it was like, oh, that's the one going on. No one has a problem with that. Cool. No. Okay, good. And that was it. Yeah. So it was easy to make.
Now, it's cool that you kind of have that question in mind. Like, nobody has a problem with that when it's your record. You're still in charge, you're in control, but you still kind of care about what everybody else thinks. So I feel like that's kind of hard when someone is a solo artist. It's like he or she has final say. But why is their say still so important for you?
I think that I don't know that anyone has the best ideas. And I've said this before about myself a lot of times, because I definitely don't have the best ideas, but I contribute to the best ideas. I don't think anyone walks into a room having the best thought, right, as far as like songwriting and that sort of thing goes. I think that when you can get a couple of people to bounce your idea off of, even if you write 99% of the song, just being able to say, hey, was that line good? To me, that keeps you in check. And I think that if I just made decisions based off of how I thought something was going to go, maybe I'd win some of them, and maybe I'd lose some of them, but I'd rather share those wins and losses with the people I created the song with, I think that it's a respect thing, it's a keeping yourself in check thing, it's working with your friends, I want my friends to have a say, and I luckily work with my friends, so they do have a say. It's easy that way. If you get everyone involved, then everyone feels like they have a piece of the pie, and then everyone works harder to get stuff moving, if that makes any sense.
No, it does. That's great teamwork. Yeah. That's great teamwork.
That's it, man. It takes a team. It really does.
Now, listening to the EP, though, the track that I kept putting on replay was the last track.
Oh, yeah?
I love the vibe of it.
Cool.
Don't be a dick, Ted. Yeah. So I love the vibe of that. And sonically, like, who came up with the idea of those sounds? Like, that was like everything of the song was just like perfect. But tell me about the creative process of that song.
Yeah, that was a weird one. That was the second to last song I think we wrote for the EP, but it was the last one I decided on. Yeah. That was the only one of the 6 that I was like, Is it
So weird, because every time I like a song, it tends to be the song that almost didn't make it to the record.
Yeah, and you know what? But it didn't almost not make it because I didn't like it. Not because I didn't like it. I love that song. It almost didn't make it because it's the weirdest one. And I was like, dude, do I put this on there? Is anyone gonna care? Like, is it gonna be one that anyone's gonna listen to? But then I always go back to my mom and my dad and my friends and my cousins and the people that I know will give me honest answers. So I send them the music. You know, every time I write a song, I send them the song. And that one, every time I'd send it, I would get like a, dude, what? That song's amazing. And I'm like, okay, enough of my people have liked this one to make it worthy of making the album. But I mean, I remember when we wrote that one, man, we were sitting in the studio. It was me and Alana and this guy, Josh Cumbie. And we were sitting there, like at the end of the session, just kind of looking at each other like, what have we made? What did we do? This is weird. What should we have taken this whole day to do this? What are we saying? Like, what is this? It was such a strange song, and we sat on it for a while, and I'm like, man, no, this song's just gonna sit here forever. And that was another part of it. It's like, dude, it's good enough though for people to hear it. And I'm glad you liked it because I didn't know, man. I didn't know. It's a weird song. It's got weird sounds.
Dude, that's what caught my attention too. Like that, I loved it. But I mean, is it safe to say that it might not be a single because of the way you feel about it?
Definitely not a single. I mean, dude,
would you try?
Sure, if enough people like it, yeah, it could be a single.
I don't know. It's just I don't know. We'll see. What do you guys think?
I'm curious. Don't Be a Dick, Ted be a single? No, it shouldn't be a single. Here's the thing, man. All 6 of those songs, I would have been very happy releasing as singles because I like them all for very different reasons. Right. It's just when you put them in a group of songs as 6, you'd hear what should have been singles and what shouldn't have been. And I feel like Don't Be a Dick, Ted is one of those ones that's for people that like that song, you know? And I hope everyone likes that song. But it'd be cool if it was something that took off. But
I sensed a little bit of a nervous laugh right now.
No, man, it all comes back to like me being on my own with all this, and like these decisions are decisions. Like that song going on the album was my decision. 100% it was my decision. And to hear someone like it is cool. And it's like a nervous laughter because I'm in a position of like, man, I didn't think anyone would really talk about that song, and here we are talking about it on an interview, and that's cool for me. So it's a nervous laughter of like, man, I can't believe people like that, you know. So that's where the nerves come from.
So would you perform this song live, or you still want to like test it out with the EP?
No. I'm performing it live at the show this Thursday. Yeah, again, I love all of the songs, so none of them were like, ooh, we'll just toss it on as a back end thing. I personally think Don't Be a Dick, Ted is an amazing song. But I'm biased, you know. I think all the songs are amazing songs. But no, I'm definitely playing it this week. Yeah. Now,
what inspired the sounds of this song? Because like the lyrics are great, and the sounds, like sonically, the song, like I said earlier, like that's what really drew my attention. So because it's so different, what made you want to give it that kind of a vibe?
So Josh Cumbie, the other guy that worked on it with me, he produced it, and just as we were sitting there, he'd like throw something on, I'm like, ooh, that's a cool sound. Let's do that sound, you know? And that's how those sounds sort of grew, is as he would make something, we would just go, dude, what? Yeah, why not? And I think that because that song, it's really, really disjointed, you know, like the verses and the chorus and the post sound nothing alike. They're just in the same key, essentially. And I think that all stemmed from the first line that we wrote was, don't steal somebody's girl even if you're better looking. And we were like, well, that won't be the line, but like, let's just keep it because it vibes right. And then like the next line was, don't be a dick, Ted. And we're like, well, what are we doing? And at some point into that song, we had gotten a half a verse in, and we were like, well, we can't really turn back now, right? Let's just finish it. Let's just see where this song goes. And I think that's why the sounds are so weird, because there was zero pressure. As soon as we started writing that song, there was zero pressure to make it anything. It wasn't like, ooh, this could be the next whatever. It was, we don't know what this is, so we're just going to finish it and see what happens. And that's where it came from. So I don't think that there were conscious decisions of like, let's make it this sound, because it was such a strange song from the moment we started writing it that the pressure was off.
But it gave me the vibe that you guys kind of created those sounds from scratch.
Yeah. Josh Cumbie's brilliant, man. He's a brilliant producer, and I sit and I watch him work, and I'm in awe every time, because what you hear on the album is not far off of what the original demo was the day that we wrote it. Like in the 5 or 6 hours that it took us from start to finish, no song, to having something to go home with and listen to. Right. In those 5 or 6 hours, what you hear is really genuinely not far off from what we wrote in those 5 or 6 hours. He's that good that in 5 or 6 hours he makes the whole song. I mean, it's pretty wild. Johan does the same thing too, man. I'm working with like really wildly talented producers on this album. Yeah. It's really crazy that they want to work with me. Thanks, guys.
That's sick. Well, congratulations with that. Now that the EP's out, finally, you're about to perform at Hotel Cafe June 6th. Yep. What are the plans for more shows? Like, do you see a tour coming up for you?
Dude, I would love to tour. That's my favorite thing I've ever done in my life. I think that I want to open, though. I would love to get onto someone else's tour just so that I can learn how to tour as a solo artist. Right. You know, I was lucky to have a lot of, a decent amount of experience with Alex and Sierra, and we figured it out after a couple of tours. We figured out what it was going to be. But I don't know. I don't know what I would do if I went on tour tomorrow. Yeah. You know, I know what I'm doing for this show because it's one show and we can plan that one show. But if I knew I had 30-something shows coming up, it would take me a while. So I'd love to open for someone, go out on the road alone maybe, you know, just go up with a guitar and see what happens. But yeah, that's the #1 goal. Get me on the road, baby. You know anyone that's touring, put my name into the... Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, if any of you guys know if Ed Sheeran's on the road soon, or anyone else.
We got to do it. We got to do it. Now, lastly, to close us off, like how difficult or how easy was the transition going from Alex and Sierra to now being a solo artist? Do you feel like it was a natural progress for you, or do you feel like you kind of had to figure things out?
That's a good question, too, man. It's weird because... I didn't want Alex and Sierra to end because I was doing a solo thing, and that's not why it did. You know, like that isn't for any reason why what happened. But I wanted to make sure that people weren't like, oh, he was too full of himself to stick with that band, which is maybe why it's taken me a few years since we were done to kind of get the ball rolling. But the transition was, I don't know that I thought of it as a transition. You know, I don't know that I went into this or the end of that as like, okay, so let's get gearing up, or like, okay, it's going to be this, it's going to be a Kinsey, and that's the solo thing. It's all just sort of happened. As I would write music, it'd be like, oh, well, you know, now I got like 10 songs that could be Kinsey songs. Maybe I should start thinking about the Kinsey stuff. Or with like Botox, the other band that I'm in, like, you know, it was maybe it's a Botox song. Let's just try it, you know, and eventually we had enough Botox songs to release a Botox song. So I've tried really hard to not consciously think about a transition because I just want it to be natural. I want it to make sense to me, because if it makes sense to me, then it'll make sense to you. You know, I think. Nothing makes much sense anymore.
Nothing makes sense anymore. Not even that last track, but I love it. So it works.
That's really what matters, right?
All that matters.
Nothing makes sense, but we love it.